You know, it's funny when you think about it, how we make friends as adults. I mean, it is a completely different ballgame than when we were in school, right? For a lot of us, it can feel like a real struggle. So today, we're going to dig into this idea of friendship, not as something that just happens, but as an art form, something you can actually get good at. Does this sound familiar? You scroll through your phone and you see hundreds, maybe even thousands of contacts, but then you stop and think, who could I call right now? With some amazing news or when I really need someone. If that gap between the number of people you know and the number of people you feel truly connected to feels a little too wide, trust me, you are definitely not alone. So, what if we just looked at this whole challenge a little differently? Here's the good news. Building those meaningful friendships, it's not about luck. The big idea we're exploring is to think of it like an art form. And just like any art, it's a skill. It's something you can learn, you can practice, and you can absolutely get better at it with a little intention. Okay, so every masterpiece has to start with that very first brushstroke. For us, on this canvas of connection, that first move is all about changing the way we talk. It means we have to consciously get away from what's called safe talk. Oh, we all know safe talk, right? It's that automatic script we run. How was your weekend? Crazy weather we're having. It's easy, yeah, and it fills the silence, but it really just builds a wall, not a bridge. The alternative? Transparent conversation. Now, hold on, this does not mean you have to overshare your whole life story, not at all. It can be as simple as mentioning a small hope you have for the week, or giving your real opinion on a movie, or just sharing a tiny moment of vulnerability. It's about offering a small, genuine piece of yourself. That's the key that unlocks the door to a real connection. So, one great conversation, that's a fantastic start. But for a friendship to actually grow, it needs something else: consistency. So let's move on to our second brushstroke. This is all about building a rhythm, a pattern of interaction. The goal here is pretty simple. We want to turn those interesting acquaintances into what we'll call regulars. So, what's a regular? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's someone you have consistent, ongoing contact with. These are the people who start to move from the outer edges of your social circle into a more familiar, trusted space. And there's actually a psychological reason this works so well. It's called the mere exposure effect. It basically says that we tend to like people more simply because they're familiar to us. So consistency literally builds the foundation of friendship right inside our brains. Okay, so how in the world do we do that in our crazy busy lives? Well, one surprisingly powerful tool is the group chat. I know it might sound simple, but think about it for a second. A group chat creates this low stakes, low pressure space for consistent, casual interaction. It's a shared place where you can drop a funny meme, share an interesting article, or plan a get together without all the pressure of a one on one conversation. It's kind of like the modern version of the old regular hangout spot. So, really, when you boil it all down, it's a pretty straightforward two-step process. First, you open the door with a bit of transparent conversation. You offer something real. And then you keep that door propped open by creating consistency, using something simple like a group chat to turn those acquaintances into a real community of regulars. So there you have it. You've got the tools, you've got the paint, you've got the brushes. The next friendship you build, it's not going to be a matter of luck. It's your next masterpiece, just waiting for you to create it. All right, let's do a super quick recap of the key takeaways here. First, and most importantly, remember that friendship is an art. It's a skill you can actively work on and develop. Second, make a conscious effort to move beyond that safe talk and into more transparent, more genuine conversations. And third, use simple tools like group chats to build the consistency that all friendships really need to thrive. So, I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. This week, instead of just defaulting to, how are you? I want you to think of one slightly more unsafe, more transparent question you can ask someone. What's one question that could maybe, just maybe, open the door to a real connection? Thanks for joining me.